In this video, we would identify what the new car dealerships are actually hiding in the price lists. We would understand all of this in three different steps. Firstly, we would understand how to decode the price list and understand the different components and products being added on the on-road pricing. Secondly, we would understand what all things are compulsory enough for us to buy and what all are the products that we can opt off if we don't wish to buy. Thirdly, we'd understand and analyze what are the components that we can do it on ourselves, like from outsourced different market and save some money there. So let's get started. So this price list that we see here on our screen right now is Morris Garage's Hector, MG Hector's price list. So we would just understand what are the different components that we can see in front of us. Firstly, we find the model, which is Hector 5-seater. Secondly, we see the fuel types, petrol, and there would be diesel below. Then we see the variants. Different variants have different features. We can find the feature differentiation on the brochure. Then comes the price analytics. So firstly, we start with the ex-showroom price, that is the basic price of the car. Then comes TCS, that is also called as tax collected at source, which is 1% of the ex-showroom price. When the ex-showroom increases or goes above 10 lakh rupees, that is when we need to pay 1% as luxury tax, or you can say TCS. Then comes RTO, which is registration taxes. So it differs with different figures. We'll understand how to calculate this in this video. Then comes municipal taxes. It differs between state to state. For Surat or Gujarat, this is Surat municipal tax, and we'll understand how this works as well. Then comes the insurance. Elite is the product name. The names would vary by manufacturers. Essential kit is the basic accessories kit. What all things are included, that will be written here below in some of the points. You can find them. Then comes the on-road price, right? After that, we find two additional optional components, which is 3M, that is ceramic coating, and then comes MG Shield, which is the service package of the car. On petrol, which includes 3 years, 30,000 kilometers. Diesel, it includes 3 years, 45,000 kilometers as your free of cost servicing if you pay 24,500 today while you're buying the car. Now we get towards the simulator. So I've already prepared the simulator. On the simulator, you'd see that in petrol section, I've added one price, that is 21,94,000, right? So we can consider this variant, the Savvy Pro, which I'm trying to calculate the on-road price of. Please don't get confused. Firstly, we'll just focus on this section. So the ex-showroom price 21,94,000 is added here. I've tried to recalculate or back calculate the ex-factory price by separating different components, the GST and the cess. So actually in petrol cars, GST is 28%, cess is 17%. So when you calculate that, you find the ex-factory price. You need this ex-factory price to calculate the RTO, which we will see in a moment. The TCS, as we discussed, 1% of the ex-showroom price. This is calculated here. RTO is 6% of the ex-factory price, as we discussed. So yes, so the same is calculated here. Then comes some extra charges, which you can consider hypothecation charges. That means the insurance imprinting on your, the finance imprinting on your RC books. So the bank name, ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank, which is imprinted on your RC book, this is an extra charge that you pay to the registration authorities to get it settled. Then comes the smart card and application fees, which is 1,000 rupees in this case. That brings us to a total of the RTO charges, that is 93,319, which is here. The yellow boxes are added to a total to make the on-road price. Then comes municipal tax. For petrol variants in Surat, Gujarat, the taxes are 3.5% on the ex-showroom price. So that is calculated here. Then comes the insurance price, which I have roughly tentatively calculated. That would be 5% for petrol, and the same is calculated here. Here we come to the on-road price. Now please note that no other additional components are added right now to this on-road pricing. Then comes the second section where we get into the diesel options, right? In diesel, you would find that the taxation for GST is similar, but cess differs. So from 17% we reached down to 22%, which brings us to a total of 50% in taxes that we pay. So this is the ex-showroom price, right? And we've tried to back calculate the same here as well. So once we pick up any ex-showroom price, let us pick up one of them, which is 22,61,800. 22,61,800, right? So the same backward calculation is done. We've got the GST, the cess, The TCS is calculated, RTO is calculated similarly as we discussed before. RTO charges, the total is here. Municipal taxes are also here, and the insurance price is tentatively 6% in diesel cars case. So this is the on-road price for petrol and diesel. Now, for electric vehicles, the case is a little bit different. We'll try to understand how that works. So on this pricing, everything else is similar, but once we've picked up any ex-showroom price, so let's say we've picked up 25 lakhs 19,800, so the same is mentioned here. It includes only 5% GST, that is the only tax that you pay to calculate the ex-factory price. Then comes 1% TCS. TCS is generally refundable. You can consult your CA to understand it in better terms, but you can take advantage of 1% TCS that you're paying today. Then comes the RTO prices, municipal taxes. Now in EV's case, the municipal taxes are different for electric vehicles. It is 2% of municipal taxes as compared to 3.5% in petrol and diesel. Finally, we come to the insurance price, which is tentatively 4.5%, and this is how we reach the on-road pricing. So here we clear the first stage and we understand that what all things are there in the price list and how do we calculate them. It would differ between states to states. I would recommend you highly that you go across through the governmental websites and you would find all these calculations very simply available. I would strongly recommend that you do the calculations on your own so that you can compare the prices and ensure that you are not being extra or overcharged in any components as such by the dealerships. Now, as we discussed initially, we move on to the second stage, which is to identify that what all things are compulsory to buy and what all things are optional. So on this price list, ex-showroom is compulsory, obviously, because that is the basic car price. Then comes TCS. This is again a bit compulsory component because you need to pay that to ensure that the billing is rightly being done. Then we come down to all these different components, RTO, municipal tax, insurance. All of this is optional. But since we can see that most of the state governments have made it a regulation that you need to have the registration mark on your car before you take the car delivery, right? So that means you'll have to get it done before you're taking the delivery of your car. But yes, it is 100% optional. If you want to do it on your own, you can select that to do by yourselves. Same goes with municipal tax, insurance, essential kit, everything is optional. You can opt them off if you don't want them, right? And now we reach out to the third point, which is very crucial to identify in what all sections can you save some money if you're doing them on your own. So most importantly, you should identify that the insurance price mentioned here, if you take a premium calculation from the market, from your banking partners, let's say if you're banking with ICICI Bank, they do have the ICICI insurance division as well, and they would be more than happy to help you out with giving you a premium or a quote for this card. You'll have to share them some information. Once you do that, they will give you a premium quote. Please be very careful because insurance is a very complicated subject. It includes so many asterisk marks which might opt you off with not taking the advantage of claiming the insurance. So it's better that you understand each and every component in detail. There would be different products that the insurance companies would have. There are different varieties. I'll cover that in a separate video. What all things you should buy, like engine cover, or you should say it should be a zero depreciation insurance. Then there are different types of insurance. There should be rodent cover, engine cover, and all of that. So it is a whole different video content. But in today's video, I just suggest that you compare the similar items which are included in the dealership insurance and the insurance premium that you are getting from outside. Also note, the IDV value carries a lot of importance on your insurance premium. IDV value is insured declared value. So your car's insurance is based upon IDV value. God doesn't ask, but tomorrow if your car meets a crash and it is like if you want to just claim the insurance back from it, you cannot repair the car. In that situation, you would only be getting the rebate or the return amount of the IDV value. So ensure that the IDV value in both the sections are similar and it is nowhere different. Essential kit is optional. You can get it accessorized outside in the market. Everybody is doing it. I don't think it should be a problem, but ensure that they are not cutting off the wires and it is all socket to socket. 3M, you can do it outside very easily. And MG Shield, it is optional. You can see if your requirements are a bit higher, you can opt for it. So that's all for this video. I hope you liked the content. If you did, please like and share. See you in the next video. Thank you.